Welcome, everyone. It's Les Sulgrove with Simply Des Moines Market Values. It is week 25. We're almost to the halfway point, and summer is officially here. So, man, it got hot last week or this weekend so far, and it's going to be hot this coming week. And, I was kind of looking back at the last two or three shows I've done, and it kind of appears maybe that I might be a little bit negative about the market, and I don't intend to be. So this week, I'm still going to tell you the stories about the market, but it's going to be maybe there's some signs of hope here and some positivity. So let's get this show started here and let's roll the credit. All right, welcome to the show. It is the title this week is The Sizzling Start to Summer. Will the market match the heat? And again, I want to try to make this more positive as we move forward here. Um, my whole goal here is to tell you exactly what's going on with the real estate market, good or bad. And it did look kind of bleak there for the last 3 or 4 weeks on my show. So let's see if we can make this show a little bit more upbeat and a little up tempo, as it were. The dashboard is showing some good signs here this week. Homes for sale are not dropping. We're still increasing our inventory. Sale pendings are holding steady at this point in time, and our closed sales are way ahead of last year. Well, way ahead. 156 closed sales ahead of last year. To me, that's way ahead. So we're on target to hitting that 13,226 number. Um, the show this week, we're going to kind of look at uh, existing homes. We'll take a look at the entire inventory on one of the sets of the graphics here, but we're going to really start to focus here on where the opportunity is for the summer months. And it's going to be no surprise, it's probably the existing home market, because that's really where we're hitting our stride here as we move into the summer months here. So the first thing we've got here is our closed sale milestone. We hit 6,000 closed sales this week. I think it was Friday we did that. We did from 5,000 to 6,000 closed sales in 18 days this time. And that's faster than the same time a year ago. We were 21 days. So we're increasing our pace of closed sales as we move month over or by the thousands here. So 5,000 to 6,000 was a nice drop, and it's traditionally our fastest closing number. That 5 to 6,000 is our fastest because it really typically hits right at the end of the spring market, and that's when all the activity started about 60 days ago. So no surprises there, but the big surprise and the big welcome is that we're faster paced than we were last year. So good for us. As far as number of closed sales, again, we closed 6,077. That's 156 over last year. The graphic here, looking now, the graphic shows existing home closed sales here, and that shows us at 190 over last year. So again, out of that 156, we actually closed 190. So some of our categories actually are still negative, which is drawing that number down. And what I want to kind of show you here is the breakdown. At existing homes, we're currently at 4,164, and that number basically equates to about 68.5% of all closed sales year to date. So over 2/3 of our closed sales so far have come from the existing homes and categories. So that's really why we're going to kind of focus on that this week. As far as the rest of the categories, existing condo townhomes are coming in at about 12%. New construction home sales is our second place category at 16%, and then new condo townhomes are bringing in about 3.5% of the closed sales. So, um, the percentages are off this year. We've seen more existing home closed sales year to date than we've seen in recent years. New construction, single family homes is where that's probably slowed down the most, because there was one point in time, back during COVID when we were about 45% existing home sales and 45% new homes, and the balance was split between the condo units there. So I've seen quite the drop there, just and probably back to more of a normal pace. We'd still like to see more new construction homes being sold there, but In any case, let's take a look first of all through all the categories, and I'm going to run this in reverse. We're going to look at new condo townhomes for sale. Again, there's that 410 units, and what I want to kind of focus on here is the consistency or the pace that we've seen for the first 25 weeks of the year. We've been very, very consistent with 2024 activity, and so there's nothing that's going to tell me that we should start to see a drop or an increase in the new construction in the new construction condo townhomes. But we're seeing that about 410. What this also tells us is that our inventory is probably balanced in that marketplace, probably about the right number of homes, because the builders are sitting there looking at, do we have enough inventory for the pace from last year? And they're pretty well matching it. Now let's take a look at the next category down, new homes for sale. Actually, their inventory levels are a little bit lower than they were last year, and I think this is again a sign of the new construction inventory industry kind of making adjustments on the fly. Whether there's some new and proposed maybe out there sitting and waiting that's just not listed yet is very possible, but the inventory for sale right now is under 1,000 homes for sale. And a year ago, we were around 1,100 homes for sale. So, it's again, we're seeing fewer new construction homes listed on the market, and it's probably a lot of it in reaction to, the pace of those sales. Now we're going to get into some different numbers here. This is existing condominium townhomes for sale. We're currently sitting at 68% higher inventory than we were at this same time last year. Now, again, if you look back over the years, we've seen the existing condo townhome activity kind of pick up and then slow down and then pick back up again. This year, we're seeing that pick up just a little bit, a little bit at 68%, almost 70% more inventory. But the number of sales are still not quite coming in the existing condo townhomes market. So while we have a lot more inventory to choose from, it's not the preferred purchase as much as the single family category, which you'll see here is up around 34%. We currently have 2,232 homes for sale in our marketplace out of 4,024. So, the idea here is that this is the category where we have the most opportunity for the summer market. And so that's where we're going to focus now the rest of the show here. One thing I also want to point out to you is this has been very consistent this year. We have over the inventory that we had last year, but it's consistently about that same percentage, 25 to 35%. And that just tells me that, a lot of the existing homeowners that were out there waiting to jump into the market are possibly now feeling a little bit more comfortable jumping in. So good sign for the marketplace. As far as the existing homes median list price, now this is the price that they're asking for the homes. We've been a little bit behind last year's pricing, which is again another positive for home buyers out there because they're not seeing the price of homes rise and rise and rise in the most active category here. We're currently sitting at 348,000 is the median list price, and look at what happened last year. Once we got to week 25, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks in a row where we were right at that $350,000 price point. And, that was great for stability, especially in the summer markets when we didn't see prices maybe outpacing demand. And so I'm kind of excited to see, if we're going to follow that same path or if maybe existing list prices might come down just a bit to kind of match where we've been year to date on the previous year's activity. So if we're going to stay right at that 350 mark, then that means that the home sellers are feeling a little bit more stronger about their ability to sell at their pricing. If we see that number come down just a little bit, that's giving home buyers out there a sign that maybe home sellers are a little bit more eager to get their homes under contract. So we'll kind of watch that. As far as pending sales, now this is the number of pendings that are currently in the sale pending category, not the ones that came on the market, that were accepted each week. And that number by week is really represented down here in the bottom of this graphic that I've overlaid. We're pretty much matching last year's pace overall. Again, this one down here at the bottom is overall offers accepted. Up above up here, this is the again the existing homes. We're currently sitting at 1,522 homes currently under contract, and for the existing category, it's a little bit faster paced than we were last year. In fact, we've been faster paced since sometime around that week 16. Prior to that, we were either even or struggling to hit last year's numbers. So this is another good sign to watch. We're seeing the more yellow we see above that dash line is farther ahead we are from last year. So if we continue to see this number rise, the number of pendings rise in the existing category as we move forward, that's really going to be a good sign that the market is really trying to recover and picking up for home buyers there. As far as months of inventory, this is kind of the pace of sales. So 2.8 months of inventory. Overall, the entire market is sitting at 3.5 months, and at 2.8 months for existing home sales, we are absolutely the fastest paced segment of the marketplace. Followed closely by the existing condo townhomes. They're at 3.1 months of inventory, and of course, new construction is above those categories. In fact, the condo townhome new construction is actually into a buyer's market down there at 10.8 months of inventory, and very, very close to that with the new construction homes at 5.9. The cutoff is 6 months or more as a buyer's market. So they're at the top end of a balanced market for existing or for new construction single family homes. Um, you know, we typically do see this same pattern start to rise after about week 15 or 14. And so again, everything is kind of on track for the normal pace of our market. It's just that um, even though the months of inventory is a little bit slower, taking a little bit longer, it's still well within a seller's market for the existing home inventory category. As far as days on market now, how long are these homes taking to sell from offer to acceptance? Right now we're at 10 days. Again, that's the fastest paced category. We've been at 10 days since week 22, so we're going on our fourth week here. We'll see what happens next week as we get close to the 4th of July. We have one full week left before we hit our mid-year point, and then the week after that is the week of 4th of July coming on a Friday. So I'm going to expect that we'll see some activity changes on week 27 when we really take into account that 4th of July weekend. But for now, we're seeing right at 10 days on market overall. The entire market's at 15 days. So again, right well within the target ranges there. And finally, the last slide of the show for today is existing homes median sale prices. So really, it's kind of interesting to watch where pricing has been and where it's going. Now, granted, the median sale price of an existing home has pretty much been above the pace of last year. It's hovered right around that 275 until we got to week 16 or 17, and then it's jumped back up a little bit. Currently, we're at 292,950, which is one step away. Well, actually, week 24, we were at the highest median sale price of the year. And this past week, week 25, we were just down from that just a bit. But when you look at that overall here, the overall median sale price in this graphic is 302. That's all categories combined. That tells you right now that we're really driving that number when we have 66 or 67 or so percent of our sales are existing home sales. So in any case, what we expect to see for median home sale pricing for the rest of the summer months anyway is somewhere between that 275 and maybe hit 300. It's going to be hard to say. We typically see after the 4th of July, we see a lot of the pricing kind of jump up just a little bit because of the late summer, the late spring, early summer sales start to come in. But I'm not sure we're going to see that this year. I think we're going to see them probably closer to that 280, 290 dollar amount. So, all right. Well, with that, this is the show for the week. I know it's been very, very hot this weekend, and it's predicted to be warm and then rainy the rest of the week here as we get through Sunday. A lot of rain this next week, so Will that hamper sales? Hard to say. I'm going to say probably not. I think the home buyers that are out there now officially. They're professional home buyers now, not just the ones that are out there looking around. So with that said, this has been week 25. We'll be back next week with the mid-year report, and following that the week after with the 4th of July and end of second quarter, end of month report in 2 weeks. So take care, be safe, and stay cool. We'll talk to you all again next week.